swap function that is nothing but swap address of z comma address of t, and now you copy the value of your variable z, which is a 3 into temp. Okay, so now temp equal to 3 and then z is equal to t, that is copy the contents of t, which is a 4 into z. So now z equal to 4 and now t equal to temp, which is a t equal to 3. Okay, so if you execute high priority task, it will give you the correct output. Okay, that is z should have the value of 4 and t should have the value of 3. So that is what we get with the help of this high priority task. That is nothing but if you execute the high priority task, the output of your high priority task is correct. That is what expected. So expected value of t should be 3 and expected value of z should be 4. That we will get at this point. But there is a problem that temp, this variable temp having a value of 3 right now here. So once high priority task is completed, as usual, the preemptive type of kernel will again continue with the low priority task. It will again continue the low priority task. So this arrow mark shows that the OS time delay, that is after some time, it will shift the control from high priority task to the low priority task. That is what's shown by this arrow mark, that is operating system. At instant 5, it will try to execute the low priority task. Okay, so which low priority task it will execute? That is here, what is the last statement? So the last statement executed in low priority task is a temp equal to x. Okay, so that time the temp having the value of 1. Okay, so before switching from low priority task to high priority task, the value of temp variable is equal to 1. Okay, but what happened when we switch from high priority task back to the low priority task? The value of this temp variable is changed from 1 to 3, because if you observe in the high priority task, the temp equal to z. Okay, now what is value of z? The value of z is equal to 3. So that is what indicated by this arrow mark, temp equal to 3. That means whenever we switch from high priority task to the low priority task, the value of this variable temp will get changed, which is equal to 3. Now you execute the remaining statements of this low priority task, which is x equal to y. Okay, that means copy the value of y into x. So what is the value of y? It is 2. So x equal to 2, that is correct. And then the last statement is equal to y equal to temp, that is copy the value of temp into the y. But at this instant, the value of temp is equal to 3. Okay, because when we execute the high priority task, the value of temp is get changed from 1 to 3. So rather than copying the value of x, which is equal to 1, into the y, it will copy the value of temp, which is equal to 3. So after the execution of this low priority task, the values of x is equal to 2, but value of y is not equal to 1, rather than it is 3. That means the low priority task will behave incorrectly. Okay, why this will behave incorrectly? Because we are sharing one variable, that is temp. Okay, so that is what the problem with the non-reentrant type of functions. So the functions which will give you incorrect data whenever we switch from one task to another task, that kind of functions are called as a non-reentrant functions. Okay, that means we are getting the data corruption. That means our data is get corrupted whenever we switch from one task to the another task. Okay, so the functions which will get corrupted whenever we switch from one task to the another task, so those kinds of functions are called as a non-reentrant functions. So here swap function is a non-reentrant functions, because when we switch from one task to the another task, okay, so that time the data of your first task will be corrupted. Okay, so the definition is very simple, that is the function whose data is corrupted whenever we switch from one task to another task, such a functions are called as a non-reentrant functions. Are you getting or not? Okay, just give me the confirmation, yes or no. Are you getting or not? Just give me the confirmation. There are 26 students, so today we have the pick of students. Hello, just give me the confirmation in the chat box, everybody. Are you getting the concept non-reentrant functions or not? You see, all these concepts are interrelated to each other. If you understand this, you will understand the reentrant functions. Okay, if you are not understood, Okay, I hope all of you understand this non-intrant functions. So it's very simple. Just see, I have two tasks, low priority tasks and high priority tasks. Okay, and in both the two tasks, I have the same objective. That is, I have two parameters x and y, and in another task, I have the parameters z and t. And I have to just swap the contents of these two variables, so that I have to use function swap. I have written the function swap for performing this objective of swapping the two numbers. Okay, but what happen in non-reentrant type of functions, whenever we switch from, okay, so non-reentrant type of functions are very simple to understand. That is, whenever we switch from one task to another task, the output should not be corrupted. Okay, that means both the system should give the correct output. If they are not giving the correct output, that means the function is called as a non-reentrant type of functions. Okay, so so this is what the definition you can remember this. That is, if data corrupted when processor switches from one task to another task, then the function is called as a non-reentrant type of function. So it is expected that we are not going to use such a kind of functions in the RTOS. Okay, that's why we are going to study this topic, because we should know the functions. Okay, so do not use such a functions which will corrupt your data. Otherwise, there is no meaning of using the RTOS, because you are not going to get the correct output from your embedded systems. Okay, so this is what called as a non-reentrant functions. Okay, I think it is fine to all. Okay, okay, so next is a reentrant functions. Okay, so if you understand this one, you can understand the reentrant type of functions. Okay, so what is, I will just give the definition. That is, reentrant function is a functions where when we switch from one task to another task, the data should not be corrected. Okay, so if you use reentrant type of functions, so reentrant type of functions will give you the correct output for your task 1 as well as task 2. That is, for low priority tasks also you are getting the correct output, and for high priority tasks also you are getting the correct output. That means even though it will share some common variable in between the two tasks, the data is not corrupted. Okay, so it is expected that in RTOS we have to use the reentrant type functions which will not corrupt whenever we switch from one task to another task. So that is what the objective of these two types of functions. Okay, so we'll take one example of reentrant type of functions. So here we have taken the examples, or we have written one function called as a string copy. Okay, so this is what the function to copy the string. We have to just copy the character string from source to destination. Okay, so for this the function is written as void str copy, that is string copy. And now this is character pointer destination comma character pointer source. Okay, that means whatever the characters at source, we have to copy into destination, and for this we have to define the function string copy. Okay, so the code inside this function is file destination is equal to source. Okay, so still the value of your destination is equal to source, you just continue. Okay, and whenever there is a null null, that is whenever you reach the maximum of your source, so that time you put the null character into the destination. That means you stop the copy process from source to destinations. Okay, so this is what the functions. So if you use this function, so this function is not going to corrupt anyway. So because copies of the, here justification is given, because the copies of the argument to string copy are placed on the task stack. Okay, that means whenever we copy copy this. Okay, so because copies of the arguments to string copy are placed on the task stack. Okay, string copy can be invoked by multiple tasks without fear that the task will corrupt each other's pointers. Okay, that means in this function what happen, we are if we are trying to jump from one task to the another task. Okay, so before jumping from one task to another task, we are copying all this data, okay, onto the stack. Okay, so that is what the use of this string copy functions. I think you are getting the things, that is reentrant functions. So what happened in this reentrant functions, or in this particular string copy functions, if we are busy in executing the copy functions in the low priority task, okay, and if there is an interrupt comes from the high priority task, so that time this type of function, which is a reentrant functions, that will copy all the content on the stack memory. So that is what the benefit or significance of your stack memory. So stack memory is used whenever you want to jump from the one task to another task. So you can save your context on that particular memory or stack memory. Okay, and then we go from low priority task to high priority task. We will execute the high priority task, and again we come back to the low priority task. So before coming back to the low priority task, we are again popping down the contents. Okay, so whenever we are switching from one task to another task, the process is just push your all the contents on the stack memory. Okay, and whenever you come back to the original task, your process is to again pop down all the contents. Okay, so if you do this process with the help of the string copy functions, so string copy functions will give you the correct output for your low priority task as well as the high priority task. Okay, and that way this will give you the correct output, and there is no data corruption in between these two tasks. Okay, so this will help you to achieve the correct output of your task, low priority task as well as high priority task. Okay, so this is called as a reentrant functions. Okay, so definition of reentrant functions, you'll just see the definition. That is a reentrant function is a function that can be used by more than one task without fear of data corruption. That is very important. Okay, otherwise if you define the functions, and if you try to or if your function is used by multiple tasks, and if your data is corrupted, then your overall output of your embedded system is incorrect, and that means that is a failure of your embedded systems. So how to avoid such a kind of failure? So you can avoid this failure of your embedded system by using a reentrant type of functions. Okay, which functions can be used by more than one task, and that is without a fear of data corruption. That means there is no worry about the data corruption, whether the data is correct or not. So reentrant type of functions will guarantee you the correct output of each task. Okay, then next is a reentrant functions can be interrupted at any time and resumed at later time without loss of data. That is what the main importance of reentrant function. That means you can interrupt such a function at any time, as well as you are going to continue it, okay, that particular functions without the loss of data. So reentrant functions either use local variables, that is CPU registers or variables on the stack, or protect the data when global variables are used. Okay, so most of the time such a kind of problems are arises due to the use of global variables. Okay, if you decide that is if you define your variable outside the main. Okay, so whatever your main function, if you define before the main, so those kinds of variables are called as a global variables. And if you define your variables inside the main, that variables are called as a local variable. Just remember it. And if you try to use global variables that is outside the main functions, then there is a many chances of corruption of your data. Okay, so that's why you have to be very careful while using the global variables. Local variables will give you the correct output, but that is inside the functions. Okay, but as we have seen that in RTOS we have the local variables, as well as there are some global variables that are used by all the tasks. Okay, So these variables should be used by all the tasks, and that should be without the fear of data corruptions. Okay, so in RTOS, rather than using non-reentrant type of functions which will give you the incorrect type of output, you try to use the reentrant type of functions, okay, which will be used by multiple tasks and still there is no fear of data loss. That means each and every task will give you the correct output. Okay, so these two concepts are very important. That is, your RTOS will always use a preemptive type of kernel. Okay, and second one, we have to use a reentrant type of functions. Okay, while writing a C code. So I think this is clear. Okay, is it okay with a non-reentrant type of function and reentrant type of functions? Okay, just give me the confirmation. Just give me the okay. From Deshnuk, I have got only yes, sir. What about remaining peoples? We have 26 peoples. Are you getting or not? Yes, this is very much similar to your C functions. So I will guarantee you that you will get a lot of critical thinking in the embedded system regarding the C programming. Okay, you will learn a lot of C programming skills in this subject also. Okay, so I have got some of the comments. Okay, so the student have got. So try to attend all the lectures. Okay, so only you will get connected to each and every concept or point. I think